What the heck? I mean, I don't know what to tell you on this one. I really don't. I mean, I like to think Uncle Fred with 45 years of experience has some answers, but I really don't. I mean, it comes down to, uh, we lose 40-34, had a lead second half, couldn't get stops, couldn't get sustained drives, wasn't able to generate no pressure and different things. So as a result, is Kellen Moore the problem? Is Dak the problem? Uh, Lack of playmakers, um, lack of preparation. I mean, I don't know which way to go on this one. Um, Now, as a Cowboy fan, we can go into our video, but are you going to be glass half empty, or glass half full, or glass half empty? Which way are you rolling on this? Because I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. But I do know this. We getting ready to talk about that. Uh, let's get it over with. What's good, people? It's your boy Uncle Fred back in the house, back in the saddle, one more again. Uh, wish I was coming under a different moniker today, but I really can't be. As a Cowboy fan, I'm at a loss today for what we really saw, what really happened. Go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe, and become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. And I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. Cowboys lose. You see the headline I got listed down there. Cowboys lose 40-34 on a game sealing pick six. What's his name? Rashad Jenkins, I think that's his name. Picked it off of Noah Brown's hand, got in the air, scooped up for it, hit the ground. He returned it 52 yards for a touchdown. Now I will apologize because I'm not going to be able to have all of the data that I normally have because the game wasn't shown in my in my area this time. Usually you can find the Cowboy game in this area and whatnot, and I had to go look at some different streaming options that I have to find the game, and then of course they come and go and whatnot. So I wasn't able to watch the whole game like I normally am, but I saw enough to see, you know, enough. I think now maybe some things you guys may have seen. It might be, a little more clear or whatnot. I know now a lot of people ain't know that, if it's not in your area, go to a bar or something like that, or if you don't have NFL net ticket or whatever. And I'm not going to no bar on Sunday. I'm doing other things on Sunday. I'm not going to no bar, watch no football game. I'll go to somewhere else, but I'm not going there. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, Cowboys lose 40-34. Now, I mean, the game started off for us well. I mean, you thinking it's going to be an easy win, or not? Maybe not an easy win, but a solid win. That we make them fumble their first possession, and Travis Etienne fumbles. We get the ball, and we drive. Uh, we drive. We drive 6 plays, 41 yards, touchdown, Zeke, 10-yard run, and 7-0. No problem. We get a stop, whatever, and then they get the ball, and then we get the ball again, and we go 11 plays. Excuse me, no, we go 10 plays, 69 yards. Actually, that's not correct. I think on that drive we went 86 yards. I think we started from the 14-yard line, and he went to Peyton Hendershot for a touchdown. It's 14-0. And then, of course, now we let them get back in it. They score. They go on a drive. They go uh, 9 plays, 75 yards. Zay Jones touchdown. 7 yards, I think. Yeah, uh, 5 yards, excuse me, for a touchdown. So it's 14-7. But then we come right back. All right, we come right back, and we go 11 plays, 66 yards, um, and we go 11 plays, 66 yards, and Prescott goes over the middle to Noah Brown, touchdown, 21-7. And pretty much that's what it was at halftime, 21-7. All right. They get the ball first at after halftime. They come down, they get a field goal, 21-10. But we answered that thing right back with a field goal of our own, I think, after an interception. But I think we probably should have gotten the end zone on that, but we're fine. That's fine. We get a touch, we get a field goal. It's still the same, 24-10. We get a stop, get the ball, kick a field goal again. We got to find ways. And I was noticing some of the plays. I don't. I'm still trying to figure out what we were doing on some of the calls and stuff. But we got bogged down couple of times, and we had to settle for field goal. But yet, still, it's midway or towards the end of the third quarter. You got a 17-point lead. So let me lay this on. Let me lay this on you, and then we're gonna be done. I'm just gonna talk about a couple things. We're gonna be done. If you look at the stat sheet, and you look at, okay, from our offense, for instance, Dak Prescott went 23 out of 30, 256, 3 touchdowns. Of course, he had the 2 interceptions. We're gonna talk about the 2 interceptions too. Okay, we ended up running the ball for 151 yards, 154 yards, 23 first downs. We possessed the ball like 30. I got it here. I thought I had it here. So yeah, we possessed the ball 33 minutes and 40 seconds. Had nearly 400 yards of offense, 397. Only punted the ball, I think, 3 times. I think twice a half. Um, 2 penalties. My goodness, we only had 2 penalties. I think we had 2 penalties for we had 2 penalties for 18 yards. You add that all up, got a 17-point lead. Yeah, that's a win, right? No, not a win. Okay, because right after we got the 27-10 game lead, somehow they figure out that Kelvin Joseph can't cover, or I don't know. You seen him in practice, you knew he couldn't cover, and he promptly gives up a 59-yard play. And he probably should have had some help over the top, because that guy, because I mean he hadn't played that much. We're hurting in the secondary right now. I mean, let's just be honest. We're hurting in the secondary. We had Jordan Lewis go down in the I want to say it was the Indianapolis game. And then we had Jordan. No. He went down in the Chicago game. I'm sorry. And then we had Anthony Brown, who was our number 2. And Jordan Lewis is our number 1 slot corner. And then we had Anthony Brown, our number 2 corner, go down in against the Colts. But it always seems like our number 2 corner always gives up a bomb. Whether it be Anthony Brown, give up the big one to Christian Watson, gave up a big one to I think it was Alec Pierce, both rookies. And then, of course, now he gets hurt. And then, of course, today, we got a good lead. If you got a good lead, you kind of you want to bracket your coverage and keep games in front of you. You don't let them, because, you want to make guys work down the field, right? So I don't know what kind of coverage we was in, where he was one-on-one and he can, somebody could get behind him. I don't know what we was in on that, but that a quick score, that flips the script. Okay, so that's 27-17. And then it's sort of like an avalanche because we go 2 plays and -8 yards. When we got the ball first down on our own 16-yard line, we decided to go to the air on first down. And Dak gets sacked. Now, I don't know what was going on with the offensive line, but in the second half, you probably could have figured that the offensive line was probably going to get wore down because look at what you're doing at right tackle. The right tackle, and I know it on it, my prep game, my prep video I was talking about, being a plus that you could have Jason Peters and Tyron Smith at right tackle to platoon back and forth. But factor this in though. Tyron Smith hasn't played this year. And I know he's trained, I know he's rehabbed and did all the things he needed to have done to get get back on the playing field, but don't nothing get you playing football. Nothing get you in shape to play football except playing football, right? Tyron Smith hasn't played since the San Francisco game last year in the playoffs. January something, He hasn't played since then, okay? We're talking what, like 9 months, 10 months? So he going to be on a pitch count, right? So now I know they talked to Mike McCarthy at halftime, and he was like, hey man, that's all we can do to kind of keep him out the game because he's the warrior. He thinks he can play all the snaps, which he that's not wise. So they bring in Jason Peters, but now you got to factor in with Jason Peters. He's 40 years old. How many snaps are you gonna get him? See, that's gonna be a conundrum that we're gonna have, going forward because now the good thing about it is Tyron Smith, as the games go on, will get more. His endurance will go more and more, and he'll play more. And Jason Peters will get less and less and whatnot, and it'll be more of a fill-in and whatnot. So that's got because the reason I'm saying it because they was getting pressure in the second half where they wasn't getting any. Man, Dak I don't think was touched in the first half. He was running the ball, doing all kind of stuff. Like he was like 15 or 16 or something in the first half. I mean, it was like unbelievable. He's hitting everything, threading the needle, doing everything, man. And we was running the ball. We was creative in the play calling. But the next play after that sack, I don't know what he was doing. He got pressure again, and he threw a pick. I think it was to the same dude, if I'm not mistaken. And they got returned from the 30 to like the 20-yard line. Again, you can't throw interceptions inside your own territory. I don't give a daggum what's going. You take that sack, punt the football, live to fight another day. All right. But I think those two things, the long play to Kelvin Joseph on Zay Jones, and then the interception, I think those two things were like hand in hand, flipped the whole momentum of the game. Flipped it upside down because they get a touchdown. They go to Zay Jones in the end zone, touchdown, and it's 27-24. We go 3 and out, or 4 and out, 5 and out, or whatever. They get the ball, they come back, they go to Marvin Jones, touchdown. And we've been leading the whole game, dominating the whole game. And within like 9 minutes, we're behind by 4. It's 31-27. Now, it's about 7.5 minutes left to go in the game. And so in true to Dak form, he does what Dak does. He does what he does. I mean, he goes on a scoring drive, and as soon as I pull it up here, yeah, here we go. Right here. I don't know why I wasn't seeing that. Yeah, so anyway, here we go. Here we go right here. I'm trying to get it all pulled up here. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. We go on a 13-play, 75-yard drive. And I mean, Dak does a little bit of everything. Got some quarterback sneaking. He's threading the needle. It very much reminiscent of that 98-yard 13-play drive in Houston. It was kind of the same thing, By the way, Kansas City struggled with Houston today too, but let's don't let that mess you up. That game went to overtime. Okay, while they was talking about whatever about. Now, I'm wondering if he gonna get the same victory on as the Cowboys get. I'm digressing. Let's stay on task. Stay on task. We go 17. We go 9 plays, 75 yards, and we get a touchdown. And yeah, 13 plays, 75 yards, and he did a Patrick Mahomes. Took the snap, got pressure, rolled out to his left, threw back against his body. Noah Brown makes an adjustment. He's kind of in the middle of the field, cuts and come back to the left corner, kind of gets down low. Dak finds him right there in the corner of the end zone, touchdown. It's 34-31. With about 2.5, 3 minutes to go in the game. So I'm like, good, if we can just get a stop, we're good. We can get a stop, we're good. They got 2 timeouts, I think. We come down and we thought we had a stop because we thought we had a sack, but Trevor rolls out of it, rolls to his left. Jerron Curse comes out of nowhere and blasts, and ball comes out. It's recovered by Micah, and we're about it, a little past midfield. And I'm like, okay, get a first down right here, and it's gonna be ball game, right? Make them use their timeouts. So we run a little counter play on first down, loses a couple of yards. Then we run another play on second down. We get about 2-3 yards back. So it's 3rd and 10. Here's where I think we lost the game right here because it's 3rd and 10. Okay. They have been, bracketing CD Lamb. Although CD Lamb had a great game. Let's not get this thing twisted all up here. CD Lamb was here we go. CD Lamb he caught like 7 passes, 7 catches, 126 yards. So they still did what they did. But to me, if it's 3rd down and 10 and we need a first down, I'm not throwing a 30-yard like comeback like what do you call it? Back shoulder, like out of bounds, kind of low percentage throw to Noah Brown. I'm not calling. I'm not. That's not the play I'm selecting out my playbook. I'm just not. Okay. And I don't know if Noah's got the options to read the route and stop and on his own. Noah Brown. He's not a spring chicken. He's a 6-year, 7-year veteran. He came out of Ohio State in 2017. 7th round pick, I think 239. So he's been with the Cowboys ever since. Played lots. But look, I love Noah Brown too, and we'll get to him later but he was one-on-one coverage, and he's running downfield. I'm like, in all this empty areas, but he could have just stopped and put his hands up, and that could have just flung it to him, and it's a 12, 15-yard gain and a first down. Why would you run the ball run your route all the way to the corner and basically run out of real estate and have him throw it up? And it's like, if you watch the route, there's nobody but Noah Brown and the guy that's covering him. I don't know who it was. All the way running this little, curl route, if you want to call it, to the left pylon, to the left boundary. And any way along that, he could have just stopped and turned around. That could have hit it. But he kept running. He kept running until he got to the sideline. And it's like, really, it's like now it's short and I got to come back and get it. And it was just a bad, ill-conceived play to me, to be trying to run on 3rd down on a drive I got to have to keep the ball. We got a turnover, all right? So we give it ball back to them, and they nickel and dime us. They get down, and they get down with about 5 seconds left, and I thought they had gotten them where they was out of bounds, where they could have kept the clock running, but they reviewed it, and he was out of bounds. He got out of bounds. They gave him their timeout back. But if you run the play, even if you don't run that play, how about just running the ball up the middle? Okay, they'll have to use their last timeout. All right. If you throw an incomplete pass, you know what that does? That's like another timeout. All right. So they had enough time, and they kicked the thing with like 5 seconds left, and they tied the game in overtime. And then we get a stop, aided by a false start in overtime, and then we get the ball, we get a first down, get a first down or two. Then we tried we tried something that lost a couple of yards, and I mean, another thing that was an issue. For some reason, we couldn't run the ball in the second half. I mean, we tried, maybe not enough, but we weren't getting the push that we was getting in the first half. And Dak had to throw a little more than he probably would have liked to have. Um, and so we ended up with a third down and 10. Um, and it's a curl out route. I mean, it was kind of traffic. I mean, he's throwing it. It's getting tipped. It's at the line of scrimmage. I think it hit Noah Brown in the hands and bounced, and it hits the guy. He scoops it up and runs down the sideline for a touchdown. I'm sitting there like, we're driving for the winning field goal here, and I know they tried some running play, but they just weren't working. I mean, maybe we need to try something different. I don't know, but we couldn't get nothing going, and that left us to have to try some desperation throws, and of course now it gets picked, and we couldn't get him on the ground, and he runs it back for a touchdown, and there's the game. There's the game. It's 40-34. Now here's my takeaway. Now I've heard all the people talk and whatnot, and um, I've heard all of I've listened to a couple of different things. Um, the low hanging fruit. Now, I hope you guys are 3-dimensional thinkers. Now, the low hanging fruit is like, well, Dak's just not that guy. All right, he's just not that guy. You're not gonna go anywhere with Dak because it isn't. Now, I'm gonna admit Dak, for some reason, he's got the interception yips this year. For some reason, he's got 11 interceptions in 9 games. 11. He had 9 coming into the game, and he had 2 today. So he has 2 interceptions in like 4 games, and he had 1 against the Bears. Those are his interceptions. Okay, um, but he made plays today. That play that he made to go up 34-31, that's Patrick Mahomes-esque. And I'm not saying I'm not saying it. You should have been able to hold that. Okay, you look at all those stats, and you should have won the game. But you want to know the stat. But before we get to that, is that the problem? Dak has had some issues. Now I don't know what Dak is doing. What is it because Dak is not getting the plays? Killen's calling a certain route concept not congruent with the defense that they're being shown, making the passes that are being asked to being completed high degree of difficulty. I don't know. Are we suffering because we don't have elite playmakers on the outside other than CeeDee Lamb? I think they did a good job in the second half of kind of covering him. And Noah Brown, God bless his heart. He plays hard. He's not a top flight wide receiver. I mean, he's playing well. Don't get me wrong. I love Noah Brown. I love Noah Brown because he's the guy that got it out the mud. Okay, 7th round pick. Floundering in special teams. And I'm not talking about returning kicks, doing that kind of glorified stuff. No, I'm talking about being gunners, coming down, blowing guys up on kickoff and punt returns. Until he finally this year gets a chance to actually start at wide receiver. And he played some spot duty last year. I saw him a couple of games last year. Caught about 20 passes last year. This year, with Washington not being able to play them, letting go of Amari Cooper, he gets a chance to play. And he's got about 41, 42 catches this year. About don't let me start guessing. I got it right here. I pulled it up right here. He had 6 catches for 49 yards and 2 touchdowns today. And he's got 40 catches for like 525 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's good. That's good third wide receiver numbers, whatever. But he's not elite. And Michael Gallup, I mean, he's still coming back from his ACL. I see some flashes sometimes and say I see sometimes he can't. I saw one flanker screen they threw him, and I'm like, oh, Michael's gonna make this guy miss it. No, that guy got him for like a 1 yard gain. I'm like, dang, Michael, you got to make that first guy miss and get your legs free and get out, and he just couldn't do it. And then you got you're going with and see they would have let, and I was wrong. They didn't let T.Y. Hilton. He didn't dress today. And I think, it becomes a numbers game. You dress only so many wide receivers, but past the first and second, your number one and number two, the other guys got to play special teams. Well, T.Y. Hilton ain't played this season at all. Last time he played was sometime last year. Okay. Do you really want him playing special teams? Okay. He's probably going to be on a pitch count too, right? So they had to make the scratch. Well, we'll go. We'll get him in. Probably he'll get some playing time against Philadelphia. But it's just James Washington didn't get much today. Basically it was Gallup, CD, and Noah Brown and that sort of thing. And then Dalton Schultz had some catches. I think Dalton Schultz had. I mean, he was okay. He was 2 catches for 15 yards. Hendershot was 1 for 20, that touchdown. But whatever. But for me, on that 3rd and 10, if I wasn't gonna run it, you know what I would have done? I would have threw a dump off pass to Tony Pollard and see if he could have broke a tackle or something, got him something in space. Because at least at that, it would have kept the clock moving, even if you don't get the first down. I'm not throwing a low percentage 30-yard back shoulder fade, trying to get a pass PI call or whatever that heck that was. And I don't know. But so those are the things. Those are the things that we got to look at, and then you got to look at maybe lack of preparation. Look, it's obvious that Jacksonville made some, because they were getting handled in the first half. It's obvious that they made some adjustments at halftime. We were not able to make any adjustments. Maybe we were trying to do the same thing, and the scenery has changed, and expect the same thing to happen. And that's almost like the reverse of insanity. Want something the same to happen, even though the thing has changed. But it's going to be the same. No, it's not going to be the same because the stimuli has changed. So the response should be different, right? So I don't know. And then we get to pick 6 in overtime. So, but here's the thing. Here's the thing that you ought to think about. Now I know the low hanging fruit is Dak Prescott. He threw a pick earlier. That in the heat of the game where I think that flipped the momentum. He did the same thing last game against Houston. That kind of flipped the momentum there. And you just can't throw that. I mean, I can't absolve him of that. Okay, the picks are alarming now. They're alarming with 11. I don't know, man. It's something he never used to be that. He's gone 2 seasons without throwing that many picks, right? He only threw 10 last year and he played 16 games. He only threw 10. He's thrown 11 this year and he only played like 8 games. Okay. But I'm gonna tell you what I think. If you look at the analysis of the thing, why we lost that game today. Yeah, Dak could have played better. Yes, Kellen could have called a better game in certain situations. We could have run the ball on it when Dak got sacked on that one. Then he threw the pick on the next one. He probably should have ran the ball and then got them out of whatever that is or whatever. And that sort of thing. And if it ain't run, you might want to, if you want to pass it, do it off the play action where the linebackers got to respect that you're going to run the thing. But I'm gonna tell you what I think one of the issues is. In the second half, and I know they got an interception on one of them, but that led to one of them. But do you know the Jacksonville Jaguars scored touchdowns on 3 consecutive drives? Like I said, here's the thing. With all said and done, you can dog Dak all you want, and like I said, I'm gonna give it to him because he didn't play well. I mean, he played well enough, but he made a mistake at a crucial time, and the thing just bounced the wrong way. It just sometimes that happens, right? It happens, but it seems to happen to him a lot, right? But 34 points should be enough to win a game. 400 yards of offense and 23 first downs should be enough to win the ball game. 154 yards rushing ought to be enough to win the ball game. 34, almost 34 yards of possession time ought to be enough to win the ball game. You ran the ball 40 times. We've always said if we run it more than we throw it, our chances of success with Dak, with whoever has been our quarterback, whether it be Tony Romo, whether it be Dak Prescott or whoever the quarterback is, the formula for us always seems to be if we run it and have the running game be complementary to the passing game, and not just throw our ears back and pass it. We seem to be, we seem to do well with that, right? Yeah, we ran the ball 41 times for 151 yards. Okay, that should have been enough. We shouldn't have to be doing histrionics to win that game. You know what the game really was lost at? And I hate to say this, and I know we always bag on Kellen Moore, we bag on Mike McCarthy. You know who this loss fits squarely on the shoulders of? Dan Quinn. He the golden boy. He the guy everybody loves. But you know why this fits on the shoulders of Dan Quinn? Because Trevor Lawrence threw the ball 42 times. And we got one sack. And that was in the first half. Trevor Lawrence was 9 of 15 in the first half. And he was 16 of 27, I think, in the second half. He went 27 of 42 for 308 yards. 318 yards, 4 touchdowns. And you knew they was coming at Kelvin Joseph. You should have had some sort of thing going for that. But we had them 27-10. That fits right into our wheelhouse. They lost a left tackle, Robinson, out of Alabama. I know that guy. And then the other tackle, they lost a we should have been able to eat, man. But in fact, we got one sack for 7 yards in the second half. And many times he's throwing the ball, sometimes 6, 7, 8 consecutive throws, and nobody getting home. We gave up 503 yards of offense to Jacksonville. 8 of 12 on third downs. Now, we ourselves were 9 of 16 on third down. That's not bad either. That's pretty good. Okay? And before we want to, I know we want to crucify Dak. The interceptions they got to get cleaned up. He was going to do that, all right? Yet it's still, since Dak has come back, we've scored less than 30 one time in the 7 starts or the 8 starts. We've scored less than 30, I think, twice against Detroit and against Detroit and against Houston. Okay, every other team we've scored at least 30 on in those games. That ought to be enough to win you games. They was averaging 17 points when Cooper Rush was up, but the defense was only giving up like 10, 9, getting 1 touchdown up a game. He threw 4 touchdown passes, and we didn't get no pressures. How do you have 42 dropbacks and only get 1 sack, and that's in the first half when we was up 21-7? We were up 27-10. That's a 17-point lead. You've got to be able to bring that home. Now, I know Dak threw some picks. I get that. But, my gosh, you can't just let guys that's back there. Then maybe we don't have the defense we say we have. Maybe we're not the best pass rushing team in the NFL like we've been promoted to be all season. Okay? We got to start looking at that. Okay? Because 34 points ought to be enough to win the game. It just ought to be. Okay? Y'all not going every game having to score 40 points to win it. That's just, if that's 2020, I get that. All right. So as I close my video, I'm looking ahead. So where are we now? So are we glass half empty? A glass half full. I mean, what are we like? How are we looking at this? What's the perspective? How are we going to um, um, look at this as a Cowboy fan? Because it's like, okay, it's back-to-back games against teams that are under 500 that we have thrown multiple picks and we made games closer than they really should have been. Now, I told you coming into it, Trevor Lawrence is playing some unbelievable football. Matter of fact, we're the only team to get an interception off of him. Shouts out to Deron Bland. That's his fourth interception this year. Okay, Deron Bland might be needing to play at our second quarter, right? But we weren't able to get no pressures, and we weren't able to get they was able to do whatever they wanted to against us, and that's gonna have to change. So is the glass half? So is it half empty? Two back-to-back games. Turned the ball over 3 times last week. Turned it over twice this week. Dak's interceptions. And the interception led to the winning points. But should it have come to that though? Is the question. So is the glass half empty? Or can look at it as that, well, we only lost 2 games since Dak been back. He's 6-2 in the 8 starts. And both of the games went to overtime, right? 2 interceptions in both games. We've scored 30 in both games. Had a 14-point lead in that game. We lost 2 games. We were on a 4-game winning streak. 6-2 in his 8 starts. Averaging 32, 33 points a game. Glass half empty, glass half full. What are you? And I'll be honest with you, from Uncle Fred, I know you don't want to hear this. I don't know. I completely don't know what to say. Where I'm at right now with this team in terms of that. Is it half empty? Like, dang. Because once you start having a propensity to do stuff, people watch films. Oh, no, you can't do this. We're going to line our defense up to do the same thing since you can't seem to, get anything with this kind of route concept or whatnot. We're going to force you into those. So I don't know if I'm half empty or half full right now. I don't know. But I know one thing. We got the Eagles on Christmas Eve. We've been pointing to this game for a long time. I don't know what we're gonna say, what's gonna happen here. So we gotta fix that, man. We gotta fix that. Now maybe some of the half full, maybe we get T.Y. Hilton next week, and his experience, his expertise, his knowledge of the game, can help our young receiving core. Maybe he gets us a first down or two that we may not or normally get. We forget CeeDee Lamb's a 3-year vet. He's the vet of the team. Okay, he's the oldest. He's older than Gallup, right? So we forget that sometimes. He's the vet on the thing, but he's like 24, 23, 24, 3 years in. He's the vet. He's the senior on the team, right? So that's all I got, man. Cowboys lose 40-20, 40-34 in overtime. Uncle Fred for once don't have no answers, man. Yeah, you can blame Dak. That's easy to blame. It's easy. It's a low-hanging fruit. It's right there. Just pluck it off and eat it, man. But if you reach way up there in the tree, you look at, man, dang, Trevor Lawrence threw the ball 42 times. We got 1 sack for 7 yards in the first half. And he was able to sit back, dissect the defense, had time to find the second and third options. Nobody got pressure. Able to get pressure with 4. I didn't see DeMarcus Lawrence. I didn't see Michael Parsons. He had the 1 sack in the first half. No Dorrance Armstrong. I think he went out for a bit. I don't know I can remember if he came back or not, but I didn't see none of them guys. Sam Williams, I saw none of them guys making no plays. I saw Sam Williams get a personal foul on a kickoff. But anyway, leave a comment in the comments. Leave something in the comments. Please hit like, comment, and subscribe. Come a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. Guarantee you will not be disappointed once again. Cowboys take one on the chin, 40-34 in overtime to the Jacksonville Jaguars. We moved to 10-4. And the sad thing about it, had we won this game, we are solidly in the playoffs and have won 11 games for the consecutive years. Now, I have no doubt we're going to win 11 games. It's just we got to wait a little bit to do it. And the season just don't have the same amount of luster as it did like 24 hours ago. It just don't. But that's all I got. You guys tell me what y'all think. I'll holler.